So here's the thing. For those of you that have never attended before, obviously you can tell this is live. It's me. It's real. I'm John Nemo. This is called Noon with Nemo. And I'll show you real quick what we have coming up. So each week, each Friday, I do this live. I'm going to turn on my screen share and just make sure that works. And then each week we do it live. And if you're wondering like what else is coming up, go to the linkedinriches.com website under free tips. You'll see it says Noon with Nemo live training. You click on that. And then what it's going to do is obviously you're already registered, but you'll see the session schedule. So today we're going to be covering the non-sleazy, practical, proven approach to getting clients with LinkedIn. Next week, we're going to talk about email marketing. The week after, the secret to securing high-ticket sales. And then as I have replays, these will actually be clickable, and then replays will be available too. So today, without further ado, I want to dive into kind of what I've found over the past decade really works for the non-sleazy, practical, and proven approach to getting clients with LinkedIn. Obviously, it's based on the book and all the experience and the DoneForYou agency and all that good stuff. So let me, without further ado, shut up and get rolling here. Yeah, what will your twins do now to help the Yankees? Lenny with the trash talk. I like it. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to start with a really simple, quick win just to show you how important it is to really understand LinkedIn, understand how to present yourself. And really, LinkedIn starts with your profile. And again, if you don't have a client-facing profile on LinkedIn, if you don't make it super simple and super easy for people to understand who you are and what you do and how you can help them, they will fly by you. They will skip past you. So the most important part of your LinkedIn profile is your LinkedIn headline. So I want to take a quick training video and share that with you. And this is actually from my LinkedIn Riches online course, the full training. And it's also something I share internally with our team because we do a lot of DoneForYou LinkedIn lead generation. But I want to show you this video quickly on how to really have the pitch perfect LinkedIn headline. So I'm going to jump off camera. I'm going to jump behind the screen and show you this quick training on LinkedIn headlines and really how to make sure yours will attract the right clients. And let's dive in. In this video, I want to take a deep dive into your LinkedIn professional headline. And you can see it here, and I'm going to highlight it because this is a critical piece to get correct. And a lot of people make mistakes with their LinkedIn headlines. We want you to avoid that. So I'm going to give you some training on how to create a really client-attracting, enticing LinkedIn headline, a very simple formula to use for it. And then I'll also show you some examples of how to implement and apply that formula so that your LinkedIn headline really makes sense. People understand it. They can qualify you and qualify themselves and move forward. So let's dive in. So a very simple basic formula for a great LinkedIn professional headline is a service you provide plus the niche audience you serve. So let's show you some examples of what that looks like in real time. Now, I should point out the goal of this is so that within 2 seconds, people know instantly what it is you do and how or if it can help them. Remember, all these invitations are coming in on LinkedIn, and you've got to have people be able to understand within a couple seconds what's in it for them if they want to connect. So let me show you an example of how this plays out on LinkedIn. I'm going to go up under my network and look at pending invitations, people wanting to talk to me on LinkedIn and wanting to connect me. So you can see I'm getting these invites. Look at their headlines, right? So let me highlight a few of these. Lead generation at Fiverr. Well, I don't really know what's in it for me. What type of lead generation? Who do you work with? Are you legit? All that stuff, right? Now we can go down and look at Aaron here. I help women in wealth, young professionals and business owners. What do you help them with, right? See how this headline, if you used instead the formula that I'm going to show you, which is service plus target audience, you'll be able to get that. Like she's got an audience here, women in wealth, young professionals, and business owners, but what's the service? We offer complete speaker management and marketing services. Okay, that's better, right? We know what they offer, what the product is, speaker management and marketing services. But again, who's it for? Who's the audience? Is it for me? Remember, your prospect is only thinking of themselves morning, noon, and after supper, as Dale Carnegie said in How to Win Friends and Influence People. So as you go through this, again, here's one with Jerry where, again, he is, okay, here's the service, leadership expert, consultant, and author, but for who, right? If I draw the question mark, for who? C-suite executives, healthcare executives, manufacturing, all the above. So again, add in that audience type. It'll really help you pop here. This is what you see a lot of, right? Is people putting in their job title. So job title and company name. And again, it's not Michael's fault here. I'm not calling you out, Michael. LinkedIn kind of trained us to think, oh, okay, put in your job title and put in your company name. And if you're using LinkedIn for basically an online resume or to be recruited or to get a job, this kind of headline is fine, right? Here's my job title, here's my company. Recruiters will eat this up all day long for employment purposes. But again, not for you and me. Lead generation wise, this is not the headline we want. So let me show you some examples of this, right? So you've got mine right here. The service is done for you, LinkedIn lead generation. That is the service I provide. Who is it for? It is for business coaches, consultants, and small business owners. Just two things. Service I provide, done for you, LinkedIn lead generation. Who is it for? It's for business coaches, consultants, small business owners. By now, you know where I'm going to be heading with some of these examples, right? So let's pull up Catherine Bishop. What does her LinkedIn headline say, right? What's the service she provides? Accounting, bookkeeping. She's mixing in her audience too. Who's it for? Construction. So she's mixing both. The service she provides and the audience is construction related, accounting, bookkeeping, job costing, etc. Here's a great example, a little different, right? Pete Paggi, he is a done for you client of ours, and he's talking about, the topic is insurance agency franchising. That's the product or service. Insurance agency franchising. Open up through him your own insurance agency as a franchise. And training, who's it for? It's for licensed Florida insurance agents, okay? The service is insurance agency franchising. It's for licensed Florida insurance agents. See how within 2 seconds, you know if you're in Florida and if you're a licensed insurance agent, if you get an invite from Pete, you know immediately, oh, I'm interested in this. Yes, I want to connect. Or, nah, I'm not interested. Not for me. But the point is, you can qualify people. You can either get them to say yes or no so much more quickly. As you know, a confused prospect never buys. Pete would be the first person to tell you, I want people who raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested, right? He doesn't want to waste time on Florida insurance agents who aren't interested in opening their own agency, who don't want to explore the franchise model. So even if people don't connect or aren't interested, that's great, because you want to break through to the people who understand and go, yes, I'm interested in that. Same with my profile, right? I know not every single business coach on LinkedIn wants lead generation help, but the goal is any business coach or small business owner or consultant on LinkedIn, any of these audiences, within 2 seconds of getting a message or an invite from me, they know how I can help them. They get to qualify. They get to say, yes, I'll accept your invite. Yes, I want to learn more. But the key is they know within 2 seconds, hey, I help this specific audience with this specific type of service. Okay, that's what I want you to do, is what's your product or service, and then who is it for? Make sure it's that clear, that simple. Avoid hyperbole, avoid being a ninja, a guru, avoid trying to be fancy. Remember, people aren't going to stop and learn. They are going to scroll as fast as they can through invites and through messages, and all people are thinking is, what's in it for me? That's why this formula is so important to stick to, is just very quickly saying, this is what I do and this is who it's for. I do this. It's for this group. So there you go. It's not rocket science. I want you to take your profile, figure out how to list what your service is first, just like Pete did, and then list who it's for, right? Service for target audience. That's it. Get after it, update your title, and when you're ready, we'll see you in the next training video. All right, I'm back. I just found this. This is for Chris. And for, is it Heike? This is for all you Packer fans on the call. I will not be stopped. Hey, listen. By the way, right? Listen, Minnesota Vikings, we got nothing. We didn't make the playoffs. We fired everybody, but I still hate the Packers. I live to hate on that team. I'll just make Viking noises the rest of the game. In fact, my little totem pole, friend of mine, one of our contractors at Nemo Media Group, one of our copywriters actually sent me this little totem pole, and it's probably because we need like voodoo or something to win a game. But I'm going to have Victor the Viking here just help me. So all kidding aside, this is Noon with Nemo. Anything is possible once you get me going. All right, so I know, Chris, you could be mean to me. How many Super Bowls have we won? I've heard it all. All right. Wrong colors, Heike says. Okay. Ken is asking questions. How many characters do you get in the connection request? Bruce wants feedback on his headline. So I'll get to some of that. But I want to make sure that I share a little bit more training with you. So let me actually, let's see here. Okay. I'll look at yours really quick, Bruce, just to kind of finalize this point. So let me turn on the screen share. Just talking about the LinkedIn headline and what really works. So this is Bruce, Captain Kirk, Philly Special. I know you're talking about LinkedIn headline wanting feedback. So for me, right, just gut reaction, not thinking, not like filtering at all. Like it just seems really busy. There seems like a ton of stuff in here. Let's okay. Like this is good copy, but it would be better to put some of this lower down in the about section. So like basically at the top, I would just say like, what are you providing? Is it sales training? So I would just say sales training is the service for, boom, sales training for these groups. I would take all the benefits and everything else and move that lower down. Like it's not wrong, the idea. It's just in the beginning, it's going to overwhelm people. There's too much copy. It'll be cleaner if it's just sales training, sales trainer for blank audience. Like that ultra simple, that ultra fast. So that's just a great real-time example, real-time feedback. Thank you, Kirk, for being a guinea pig. All right, love it. All right, so what I want to do now, before I run out of time, I love taunting Packer fans. I have no life. I mean, what else are we going to do? I want to walk you through another video, going a little bit deeper on LinkedIn, really understanding, and this comes from our Done For You process. So one of the things we do with a lot of clients, and I'll talk more about it later, but we actually have taken LinkedIn Riches and everything in the book and LinkedIn Lead Generation and now have a full agency. So I have, 20 different people working for me, and we do, Done For You LinkedIn profile rewrites and messaging and everything else. And so what I'm going to walk through in this next video is really helping you understand how we look at each individual client and how we kind of say, okay, we have a new client. How do we portray them on LinkedIn? What's the big advantage this client has in the marketplace? There's 700-800 million people on LinkedIn. This person has come to us and said, get me leads on LinkedIn. The first thing I'm going to do is say, what makes you unique, different, better? What's your personality? How do we put the real life you through LinkedIn, right? And that might be scary in my case, putting too much of me through, but that's the big thing. So I want to walk through in this video kind of how we do that and what it looks like give you real-time concrete examples of how we take a client and how we kind of put the real person through LinkedIn and why it matters and why it generates leads and why it helps you win new business, okay? So sit back here. I'm going to hop off camera again and show you a little bit about this process and how you can really take advantage of you and putting yourself through on LinkedIn. Hey, it's John Nemo. So excited that you filled out the type form. And yes, I want to make you laugh before you leave here. So here I am playing Star Wars, popcorn bucket on my head. This is also my work attire, very strict dress code at Nemo Media Group. Now, listen, we love to have fun, but obviously you're here because you want to get leads with LinkedIn. And I want to just very quickly help you understand what makes us different and unique. And one of the core things that really helps you stand out on LinkedIn is this approach, one-on-one, personalized. Everything we do is customized. We don't use off-the-shelf copy and paste templates. And I love this quote from Seth Godin about that. He says, people are superstitious about whatever it is you're marketing. You can complain about it, etc. He said, the only alternative, the only thing that works is personal interactions that are so extraordinary and powerful, they cause people to tell themselves a different story. So when we work with you on LinkedIn, we create customized, authentic, personalized, one-on-one engagement. And that means the one-on-one LinkedIn messages, the emails that we create, everything that we do is you. It's your personal story. So I'll give you an example here of a done for you client, Catherine Bishop. You can see obviously the riches are in the niches. You've heard me talk about this: construction, accounting and bookkeeping, construction, payroll and taxes. Now, when we go out on LinkedIn, obviously we made her profile very custom, very personalized. It's not fill in the blank, copy and paste, right? What makes her unique? Her dad was a contractor. Her mom was a CPA. We really get into your story because, again, all of this success on LinkedIn is one-on-one personalized marketing. So when we're doing a done for you campaign, it really needs to be you. Like, we need to overlay the real life you into your profile page, into the one-on-one messages, while at the same time helping people understand the service you provide, talking business, etc. So for example, with Catherine Bishop, when we're writing LinkedIn messages, again, we're saying great to connect, quick question, do you need help with this service? And then this is where we're personalizing. I asked because I literally grew up in the industry, right? So I literally, let me just get my drawing tool. I literally grew up in the industry. My dad was a contractor. As a teenager, I didn't have a curfew because I had to be on the job sites every Saturday at 8 a.m., right? Now, this message is going to contractors. So they're immediately bonding with Catherine going, oh man, I'm the same way with my high school daughter. You get it. You understand our world. See, that's the customization that we bring, the personalization, because we know Catherine Bishop's story. This is part of her story. This is going to appeal to her target audience of contractors and home builders. Because again, then we say, as a result, I've got unique insight into an unparalleled understanding. So that's how we're able to really personalize and customize all of this. Here's another example where, again, we're personalizing and also adding value. So Catherine's saying, hey, fun story. She went to the University of North Carolina, and NBA basketball star James Worthy was there. It was a math major at the university, just like Catherine. Funny enough, she was a kickboxing champion in college, right? Both of us had our athletic trophies displayed. So, right, not Hall of Fame basketball, but kickboxing. And so, again, she's pivoting then to the offer. If you need help with payroll, job costing, whatever, let's talk. And you'll see later on case studies with Catherine, but she literally filled her entire book of business with us within a few months. Like, she literally cannot take more clients. Catherine had to pause her LinkedIn campaigns. That's how much business she got. And the reason is because it's so personalized, because it's so customized when we create this content for you.
Hello, this is Catherine Bishop with Blackberry Accounting. I wanted to take just a second to tell you what my experiences were with John Nemo of Nemo Marketing. I've been a CPA for over 20 years. I had plenty of education and experience to run my own firm, but I didn't have clients. Knew that I'd had a LinkedIn account. I used it mostly to keep up with old colleagues. Never really thought of it as a marketing tool. I ran across LinkedIn Riches and it really just seemed to make sense. Then I went to a couple of John's seminars and I ended up going with a done for you package because I had, at this point, I'd been to many marketing seminars. I'm not a marketer. No amount of training is going to make me a marketer. I'm an accountant. That's what I do. That's really what I wanted to do. So when I went to work with John, I wasn't really quite sure what results I would have, and it has been phenomenal. It's been a real game changer. Before I started working with John, I had considered the possibility that I might need to go back into teaching part-time just to supplement my income. But since I've been working with him, the business is flourishing. I've been able to connect with the kind of clients that I want, and everything has been going very well. It is absolutely something that I recommend and would do again.
And here's another kind of custom example. So this is an ebook we created for a client as part of her LinkedIn campaign, Christie, and we're going to write it from scratch with her story, with photos of Audra, really helping you get to know, like, and trust her as a person, understanding it while still delivering value, bringing value in the ebook, helping people understand, having a call to action, but really getting to know Audra, like she's a real person. And let me show you another example of this. So following in line with that ebook, we're also doing follow-up emails for Audra as part of this campaign. We find the leads on LinkedIn, then we get them engaged. We send the ebook, content, emails. But look at how we're writing custom personal emails, right? Great subject line, the secret behind every successful executive. And then it's storytelling. I first discovered it in the 11th grade, and it changed everything, right? In this case, the secret was a person. Her name was Ruben. She was my first true mentor. Ruben helped guide me. And then we pivot into the rest of the email where Audra talks about executive coaching and mentoring and the presence, and then a call to action. Like, you can talk to me and fill out this form, right? And so that's the idea, is we're creating personalized emails.
Hi there, this is Audra Christie, North America's top executive coaching strategist. And I am here to share the awesome experience that I had working with John Nemo and his team. OMG, my LinkedIn profile is on fire. I always knew that I wanted to maximize LinkedIn as an executive coach, but I didn't know how. And most importantly, I was always in search for a done-for-you service. And let me tell you, I found all of that and more working with John and his team. I would highly recommend that you work with John. He's a partner. He helps you with mindset. And, you know, he teaches us to trust the process. And I had a little trouble at first, but once I got into the groove, or what I'm calling the zone, it was just fire after that. I mean, I'm looking like true amazement. It's been 3 months, and wow, John is the real deal.
So this is for another done-for-you client, Stephanie Perry, who owns a digital marketing agency. And when we were creating her content, one of the things she talked about in her own story was helping her clients kind of get into a certain mindset to take the leap to trust her with their marketing. So we created this email that says, again, this is a follow-up email. I was terrified. Uh-oh, what were you terrified about? Heart was beating through my chest. Wind was whipping in a frenzy. This is all custom that we created. Long story short, she went skydiving. Okay. And so we took her lesson of Stephanie going skydiving, and here's the authentic, photos, and tying it to the mindset that she needs her ideal clients to be in, right? To take risks, not be afraid to take that leap, etc. And so again, that's one of the differences with Nemo Media Group, is we really create customized content. That comes back to what we talked about at the beginning here, one-on-one personal engagement. People need to get to know you as a person so that they can have kind of that likability, authenticity, transparency. They feel like they can bond with you. So that's an important part of this, is creating customized content, both emails, LinkedIn messages, your profile page, that helps people get to know you as a person, along with the business value and all the other key elements. There it is. I mean, how can you take me seriously? I can't even take myself seriously, but this is the fun of it. Like, this is real, authentic me. If you were to come over and hang out with me today and watch football or whatever, like, this is what I'm like. And so the whole point of that lesson, and it's viewed through the lens of some of our done-for-you clients, is putting your real personality through LinkedIn. Putting your real personality into your LinkedIn profile, into your LinkedIn messaging, into your LinkedIn content, into your follow-up emails. Again, this is the real secret sauce. And what I try to really explain to people is, your biggest advantage right now in the marketplace is you. It's your personal story. It's your unique journey. It's your unique backstory. It's your unique sense of humor, your unique communication style. There are a million different people you could be getting LinkedIn training from today, but you're here for a reason, right? You know that, you know what you're getting with me. There's going to be goofiness and entertainment and fun, and I'm not going to take myself too seriously, but yet I'm also going to bring you value. So again, the more memorable you can be, and that's what comes into this, being your real authentic self, you'll attract the right type of clients, and you'll also repel ones that wouldn't be a good fit. So let me actually just show you a real-time example of this, because I just did it on LinkedIn right before I got on this call. So let me actually pull that up for you while we're talking, because it was really funny, and I won't share the person. Okay, here we go. So let me actually pull up screen sharing, because this is an example of how you can put your real self into a message as well. So what I did to begin with, I was reaching out to prospects on LinkedIn, and this is kind of how I do it. I try to go far and wide to gauge interest. And then if someone says they're interested in my topic, then I go more personalized and one-on-one. So what I was doing with my LinkedIn messaging, right, I was going in to my LinkedIn mailbox and I was saying to people, let me show you here, hey, are you interested in creating a client tracking LinkedIn profile? Are you looking for tips on how to have a better LinkedIn profile? And I said, if you are, the reason I ask is I've got this, ultimate LinkedIn profile template. It's copy and paste, fill in the blanks, etc. And so one of the people that said yes, said, yeah, I'm interested in this. And so what I did was, again, I looked at the person's LinkedIn profile and saw they live in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Right. So I'm immediately, all this stuff is coming up. I'm like, Green Bay, like, well, yes, I'll send you my LinkedIn template, but I'm going to talk some trash. Like, that has to happen. So I send her, I say, of course, here's the link to the template. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on it, Rachel. And then I send her my all-time favorite animated GIF, which is Randy Moss, Hall of Fame wide receiver for the Vikings, in a playoff game at Lambeau Field, mooning the crowd. Doesn't get any better if you're a Vikings fan than watching your star receiver moon the opposing team's fans. Now, he did this because every time the Vikings bus drove into Lambeau Field, the stadium, all these Packer fans would line up and moon the Vikings. So he was returning the favor. Anyway, I put this into my one-on-one LinkedIn messaging. I say, since you live in Green Bay, I'm required by Minnesota Vikings law, to send you this funny gif of Randy Moss mooning the crowd. I'd say good luck to the Packers, but I wouldn't mean it. Like, I hate that team. Ha, ha, ha. But like, again, I'm having fun with this, right? I'm having fun with this. I'm making my one-on-one engagement with this person on LinkedIn memorable. I guarantee you she's going to, respond or engage or pay attention to me because it's personalized. This is so different than 99.9% of LinkedIn messages she's getting. Now, the key thing is I'm still bringing value. I'm still delivering her my LinkedIn template that helps her get a quick win and improve her profile, but I'm doing it in a fun way. You see this? This bringing in your personality makes all the difference with really moving things forward. It's not just enough to bring in some value, right? It's about also like bringing in your personality. Because in real life, when you engage with people and work with people and sell, you talk one-on-one, you interact, you banter, you build relationships, you build rapport. And that's the idea with what we're doing on LinkedIn. So I've got one more video I want to show you. And again, somebody's already asking like, hey, tell me more about the DoneForYou service. I will. I'll share that at the end, but I want to really kind of reiterate a little bit more of what goes into this and what works. So let me pull up one more video. This is really going to be interesting for you because it's really going to walk through, again, this is really what our DoneForYou LinkedIn lead generation process looks like. But you're going to see from a client point of view how we look at you and go, okay, what makes you unique, different, better? How do we overlay that on LinkedIn? How do we use that for lead generation? And how does that work? So I think it's a helpful exercise, regardless of whether you ever use Nemo Media Group and me, whether you do this yourself, whether you get an online course, just to understand this is what works. So what I'm trying to share with you and show you is like, this is the practical kind of proven way to get business from LinkedIn, doing these things. And I think it's a helpful exercise seeing it from a client point of view and how we take one client with one story and put that through on all these different areas. So without further ado, let me show you one more piece of training here on how we do this whole process with LinkedIn. So this first critical step for you as a coach or consultant, and I'm going to show you a real life case study here, Melissa Thibodeau, who's a consultant that we worked with as a DoneForYou client. The first key place that you've really got to dial in on LinkedIn is your profile page. Now, most people, right, and maybe you're cringing as you look at this and thinking about your LinkedIn profile, most people have a LinkedIn profile that is very much a resume. It's written in the third person. It's just a bunch of job descriptions. There's nothing exciting. And really the key first step here, and I'm going to walk through how we do this, is really flipping the script and having your profile be what we call client facing, so that within 2 seconds, as a prospect exactly what Melissa does and what's in it for you. And so what we do is we start with our artwork header, right? And so depending on your background as a coach or consultant, you may have a ton of social proof, right? Melissa happens to have a bunch of recognizable big name companies that she's worked with. So when we created Melissa's artwork, we went with social proof. Now, another client that I'm going to show you is Christie, where we went deep on a topic. So let me pull hers up as well. So Audra is another rock star that we've worked with, a coach and a consultant, and you can see she's going deep on a topic. In her case, targeting people going into their first C-level position and really talking about a topic here, executive presence. So right away, whether you want to lead with your social proof like Melissa and you've got the logos, and notice too the keywords here, strategic consulting, so you know instantly what she does, coaching and training for a target audience. So that is another key thing, is the riches are really in the niches here. So you can see, make it clear what it is that you do, what, consulting, coaching and training, and then who it's for, right? It's for this niche audience, for staffing agencies. This is so different than 99% of LinkedIn profiles. As far as a profile goes, making it client facing, all about when your ideal prospect lands on this page, can they determine within a few seconds what's in it for them? Why would they want to connect with you as a coach or consultant? So for Melissa, they're going to visually see something that catches their attention, which is these big logos. Oh, wow, okay, she's worked with big brands. And then they're going to see this text here that says strategic consulting, right? Sorry, I'll re-highlight that. And then notice here, let's do a deep dive on her title. And this is another key thing is, again, it's not Melissa Thibodeau, CEO of Thibodeau Group. It's not her job title. It's not talking about herself. It's talking about the services that she provides, right? Staffing growth consultant, strategic initiative mapping, sales and optimization, sales and operations process. Like, it's talking about these are the services I provide, right? And then usually we'll also put in a target audience. So as we go through, you're going to see this again and again and again with titles where you're talking about what's the service you provide and then who is it for, right? It's for staffing agencies, okay? So now we go in and look at the about section and look at how we rewrote Melissa's profile. So it's really got some nice visuals. I love emojis because, again, when people read, they scroll up and down and see how these visuals are catching your attention. Instead of just boring bullet points, we're using some visuals to really capture people. Mapping out and managing projects, we're using a map, right? So again, look at the first line. What I do, right? It's not, my name is Melissa Thibodeau and I own my company and blah, 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 and I'm a big deal. It's all about the client facing. So what I do, I help. And then here's a target audience. I help this target audience, staffing organizations, get a benefit they want, right? Get foundations of excellence through creation and implementation of staffing. So I help this audience get a benefit they want by providing, right, strategic best practices consulting. And then she talks about, here's the training I provide, here's how I do it. Look at this. What makes me unique, right? Bring in your personality. And that's what we really look for with coaches and consultants, is what makes you different. Like, is it a bunch of social proof? Is it, Melissa, it was really about her story and the fact that she was a star performer in the staffing industry. She had, did over 63,000 calls, worked with these big clients, and then, had incredible results. So when Melissa pivoted out on her own as a full-time consultant, being able to offer these services, she also had the proof of, hey, I've been in the trenches. I've literally done these things and had massive success. And I want you to hear from Melissa in 1 second of her experience working with us, because when we first started, of course, her profile didn't look anything like this. And Melissa was coming to me saying, hey, I'm going out on my own as a consultant. I need to brand myself on LinkedIn. I'm leaving behind kind of the staffing industry where I work. And I want to do, consulting for organizations around HR, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, oh, no. We've got to focus on your story. What makes you unique? What makes you a superstar? Because clients will instantly trust you if you've walked in their shoes. And so I want you to listen to Melissa, because what we were able to do through her profile and then through some content that we created, again, sharing the incredible results, right? How I took an agency from, this to 16 million in 48 months. And telling great stories. And again, we created the content for her. This is part of what you want to do, is have content that tells a great story, also shares some tips, right? And so the storytelling, it started with a $5 Starbucks gift card. 48 months later, right, we went from 600 grand to 16 million. and then sharing tips, sharing ideas. You're getting to know, like, and trust Melissa. She's telling you a story. And again, this is how she pulled in 5 and 6-figure clients from us. A very simple 1-2 punch. You know, step 1, client-facing profile. Step 2, having some great content, a great case study where she kind of explained, you know, what it was like when I started, what happened, you know, what the outcome was. And then we had a call to action at the bottom where we basically, after we shared the expertise, demonstrated, hey, if you want to learn, if I can help your agency, let's talk, right? And so this is how she was able to quickly get clients. And you can see the great comments, right? So again, I want you now to hear from a client point of view, Melissa's perspective on all of this.
When I first started working with John, I had one way of thinking about which direction I was going to go into the consulting arena, if you will. And, I was really on the fence about working with him because, I felt like, I knew my business and I could make it happen if I knew how to do A, B, C, D. So, it was going to take me a little while to figure those things out. But so anyway, fast forward about a month and I made the decision, took the plunge to work with John. And one of our first coaching sessions was an interview that he conducted with me. Now, understand John knew nothing about my industry, which is staffing and recruiting. I think he probably had a point of reference for the industry, but not in depth, So after that interview, and he asked me so many really meaningful questions that, number one, got me thinking, and also told him a bit about me and what I knew about the industry. So after that interview, we got back together and he said to me, Melissa, so you seem to be passionate about another aspect of this industry. And if I were you, I would go that direction, or my recommendation is that you go that direction because you know so much about it and you seem so passionate about it. So I said, you're right. I'm going to do what he tells me to do, and I'm going to do it to the letter. Within the first, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks, I had my first client. 2 to 3 weeks later, I had my second client. And then probably a month later, I had my third client. After the second client, midway through working with the second client, I had paid for John, or John had paid for himself. But yet I was still working with him, which was, really exciting. So, because he could help me tweak things, he was doing content for me. He was doing things for me that, and teaching me things about what to do with those things that he created, that would be really meaningful and effective and get me the most bang for my buck. I mean, he is the real deal. For me, it was life-changing. I would not be sitting where I am sitting right now, where you're looking at me with this pretty yellow picture behind me, without John's expertise.
So I love that story from Melissa. It's awesome. I love these outcomes. And I want to share another great one with Christie, who has had massive success working with us as a DoneForYou client. Again, getting these 5-figure clients from LinkedIn. And so I already talked a little bit about her profile and really niching in on the topic of executive presence. And again, you can, the client facing. But the big thing is, now that you have a client facing profile, we're going to go out and prospect for you, correct? So we're going to use LinkedIn search here, and we're going to find the exact decision makers. And there's a whole kind of science to that, to finding the exact people who would want your products or services. The great news is they're all on there, right? LinkedIn is headed toward over 800 million members, 200 different countries. I think they add 2 new members every single second. And all of these people are sortable and searchable in LinkedIn's database. So there's no shortage of leads on LinkedIn. The key is how to get them to engage. So step 1 is having a client-facing profile, but step 2 is now when you go and talk to these clients one-on-one, what does that look like? How do you get them to engage with you in your LinkedIn inbox? And so what we did with Audra was, again, we created specific scripts that offered value, that asked permission. And there's a whole method to the madness here. But very basic idea behind this is we would say, once Audra connected with someone, hey, great to connect, quick question. Would you be interested in something of value, right? Some tips on your next career move. I asked because I just put together an ebook, about this, and, here's what it's coming from, right? And then if you'd like, simple call to action, just reply yes, and I can send it over. And so this is a one-on-one LinkedIn message that prospects would get from Audra after they connect. Hey, asking permission, do you want some free tips on your career? If so, I've got a great free ebook. And of course, we created this ebook for Audra, designed it. Again, the same theme, the same brand. It's her sharing her expertise on executive presence and 5 steps to position yourself, for your next career move, right? So again, storytelling, we're using real life images of Audra training and teaching, explaining what this is, demonstrating value, demonstrating expertise, helping people understand, oh, this is why I need this is what it's for, and then why listen to Audra, right? All of this in place. Again, value. There's value here. You're getting to know, like, and trust Audra. You're getting to see her in action, learn from her, listen to her. And then there's a very simple call to action at the end of the ebook that basically says, hey, do you want to talk more? Is this right for you? Let's talk. And then what we do is people can click this link right inside the ebook and be sent to what's called a type form. And this is a great, great, powerful tool that qualifies the leads. Like, tell me a little bit about your business. What do you do, right? How long have you been doing it? And then this is where you can get into these decision trees. Like, are you looking for coaching for you or someone in your organization? Based on how you answer this, you're going to see different follow-up questions. There's all this logic built in, right? Rate it from, 1 to 10. Are you feeling great? Are you feeling lousy, right? 1 is awful, 2 is amazing. And so you go through these, you can rate these, and then on the back end, Audra would see, like, what is a person saying? What are they telling you they need help with? How big is their pain? Do they have a budget for this? All these different things, right? Have you ever worked with a coach before? So we can put in logic. If you say yes, what was the experience? Are you still using the coach? Why or why not, right? We want to know that. If you say no, you don't see that question. We just go to the next thing. Do you ever invest in your own development, your own personal development? And again, they might say, yeah, I spend this much per year. Okay, we go to the next thing. However, what if they say, I never have invested in personal development? Well, we can pull up a question that says, why? Like, again, pre-qualifying people. So you're saving time as the coach or consultant. You don't want to have people coming to you and discover on the call for the first time, oh, I've never invested in myself because I don't have any money. Or you don't want to get to the call and have them say, oh yeah, I already have a coach I'm really happy with. I was just kicking the tires on you, right? You want to know this ahead of time. And this is why we use this type form to pre-qualify people. So again, to summarize, step 1, client-facing profile. Step 2, we use LinkedIn search to find your prospects. Step 3, we message them one-on-one in the LinkedIn inbox, offering something of value. And then once the next step, step 4, is once they say yes, we deliver the content. It has value. And then step 5 is we say, hey, do you want to learn more? Do you want to talk? Click this link and we can talk more. And that's where we are with this type form. How urgent is it to you? Do you need coaching ASAP, or not? This isn't a big deal, right? So this is how you pre-qualify people. So before you give them a free discovery call, before you get on the phone, all these different things. Like even this, are you the sole decision maker? If they say yes, great, move on. If they say no, who else needs to be involved? So before you get on that call, oh, my CEO needs to be involved, or my spouse needs to be involved. So this is the idea behind this. This is why it works so well, because again, you can pre-qualify people. So Audra's not wasting time with tire kickers. Now, again, we're automating all of this, which is the brilliant part of it. Is you've got your client-facing profile. We find the prospects. We reach out to them with these one-on-one offerings. If they say yes, right, then we're opting them in using Ontraport. And this is an example of what this looks like. we opt them in. So here's the great thing. Not only do they get the ebook, in this example, right, you can opt in and get the ebook, they're also going to get additional follow-up, right? So now the ebook is on its way. But inside Ontraport, what happens is we set this up for you, and this is what we did for Audra too, is basically now we can follow people through and have these decision trees. And what I mean by that is based on the actions that people take, you can see it's yes or no, yes or no. Did they click a link in this email? Yes or no? If yes, send them down this path, right? If no, send them over here. Oh, wait, they did click it? Send them here. And so on and on it goes. This is all automated, right? So it's kind of a choose your own adventure. And this is probably more than you want to know, but this is how the whole thing works. This is how you automate and personalize. Because again, once that person says, yes, I'm interested in free content, they start there, right? They start by consuming your content, getting to know, like, and trust you. Some of them will immediately fill out the type form so you can have a phone call. Others might need some more nurturing. And that's where we have these follow-up email campaigns, because the number one goal is we want to get people off of LinkedIn. Let me get my drawing tool. We want to get them off of LinkedIn, out of here, and into your funnel, right? And so the beautiful thing about using a tool like Ontraport, which is a CRM, is now we can do all this different follow-up with people and build a list of contacts and have campaigns and have follow-ups. And so with Audra, again, what we did was we had the one-on-one LinkedIn messages. We also created the ebook for her so that we had some content to offer. And then once they said yes on LinkedIn, yes, I want to see the ebook, we would opt them in on Ontraport, just like we did here. And then they would get the ebook, and they could follow up directly from the ebook to this Typeform survey to see if they're a good lead for Audra. And above and beyond that, we would send follow-up emails, which are very personalized, written in Audra's voice, right? This is a personal story. I first discovered it in the 11th grade. It changed everything for me, right? It's the secret behind every successful executive. So again, we're following up with more emails that really help people, and see, tell me about your situation leads to the type form. This is why I love this approach, because again, this follow-up, it's all automated. It's all these decision trees where basically once a person says yes to one piece of content, we can follow up with additional content, additional emails, additional resources until the person fills out this type form. And oh, by the way, once they fill out the type form, you're able to see all their information, and then you can decide, yes, I want to book a call with them, they're a good lead, or no, they're not. But again, it's all automated. We know the moment they fill it out. So this is why this system works so well. Now, I want you to hear in Audra's own words, too, what she saw from a client point of view, being able to get this rolling and getting the 5-figure clients, getting the ROI out of this approach on LinkedIn.
Hi there, this is Audra Christie, North America's top executive coaching strategist, and I am here to share the awesome experience that I had working with John Nemo. And
sorry, Audra, I'm cutting you off. I think I already had Audra's testimonial in there, so I want to get back live. And I'm not taking the hat off the rest of the day, Chris. I'm going to wear this everywhere. Here's the thing. And I know we're going to run out of time, so I want to make this clear. Like, what I hope happened for you today is kind of open your eyes toward this is the strategy that works. This is the strategy that works. Client-facing profile, find the ideal prospects, the one-on-one messaging, adding value, personalizing it once you do get someone interested. And there's so much more you can do with that. And then understanding like the long game too, where you can have the follow-up emails and the follow-up sales funnels and the decision trees of, do you want more on this? Click here. And if they do, yes. And it's all automated and it's all one and done setup. So at this point, there's kind of a couple options we can do today. One would be if you're interested in my help and my team's help. If you are, type yes. Type yes if you want to learn more about our DoneForYou services. Type yes in the comments. I want to know that people aren't just here to listen to my Minnesota Vikings rants. So type yes if you're interested in learning more about the DoneForYou. And I'll also put that up. We have a few openings. We don't do a ton of it. All right, Perry says yes. Awesome. Wonderful. Type yes in the comments if you're interested in that. And then let me put that up for everybody where to find out more about it. It should be this one. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, cool. So I will put this up. All right, boom. All right, you should see where it says want done for you help. Let's talk. And I'll also put done for you help. And I'll put a little link in there. And I'll put Kevin says yes. Awesome. All right, good. Glory. All right. Want done for you help. Click here. And then I'm going to show you a little bit about that. And I'll actually open up a new tab for everybody too in your browser. So, and then let me pop over to that tab. So I'll screen share and explain to you. So if you click on the link, you should see this page, right? And it says LinkedIn Rich is looking to generate LinkedIn leads. Let's talk, right? And then you just click start. And this is actually a type form. And so what I want you to do is just fill it out. There's no obligation. There's no heavy-handed sales stuff. It's more just, I want to know if it would make sense for us to help you. Like, what's your target audience, right? What type of business? See how I'm doing the if or and or. Is this your full-time job? Is it a side hustle you want to scale up? Like, what we can do is we can figure out ahead of time, right, what's going to make sense based on what you're doing, right? How do you currently get leads? These are all things that then I can figure out based on what you're telling me, what makes sense. And so a lot of people will ask, like, how much does your done for you cost? And should I do it or not? And it's like, it really comes down to this question, like, what is one new sale or client worth to you, right? So if you're selling stuff and it's $50, $20 a transaction, no, done for you is not going to make sense. But if you're playing in the higher ticket sales, $1,000 a client, $5,000 a client, 15 grand, 20 grand, right? Then it makes sense to explore this a little bit more with the ROI, and especially if it's recurring. So we get a lot of coaches, consultants, small business owners that say, hey, if I get one new client, it's, $3,500 a month times 5 months, and we do contracts and this and that. So like it'll add up quickly and it'll make sense. So again, you can go there and fill out that type form. I'll go back to the main screen so it just reloads. Just click start, and then I'll get a submission, and then I can look at it and give you an honest answer and say, yeah, you know what? This makes sense. We should talk more based on what you're telling me. Or I can be honest and say, hey, you know what? We haven't had a lot of success in your niche, in your industry. I don't think it's a good fit. Here's what I would do instead. Or, based on what you're telling me about this online course we have might be a better fit. Because we do have that, right? If you want to do it yourself, I've got tons of online courses to implement all this too. But I want to start with the done for you because I know that's something a lot of people have been asking about this year already. So let me go in the chat and see if there's any questions. All right, ETN. Brian Black was already said yes. This is true. Brian signed up. I love it. Brian is in there. We're just getting Brian started, which is awesome. Let me see what other questions. One other link I'll share is we have 3 different done for you programs. So you can see the different options here, and I'll actually share this link. So we've got 3 of them: Launchpad, Sprint, and Accelerator. And then basically as you scroll down, you'll see what is included in each program. And Accelerator is the biggest one where we literally do every single piece. Down to Launchpad is, we rewrite your profile, we do your artwork, we do some prospecting, we write some messages, and then we launch you, right? So I'll share that too so people can poke around. I'll say done for you options. I'll put that in the live chat as well. And then I'll also put it here in the little sticky note, and I'll say done for you options. All right, so fill that out while we're talking. And then let me ask this too, for everybody that's still on, are any of you interested in doing this yourself in an online course? Let me know that if you're interested too, because I can share a link to the LinkedIn Riches training, which some of you probably have. Some of you may not have. So I just put in another link to the done for you options. I don't want to overwhelm everyone. So do this for me, if you don't mind, because I know we've got a lot of people popping around the chat. Let's do this before we leave live. So Chris is interested in the done for you. Awesome. So use that link, Chris, and just fill out the little type form. Make sure to note you're a Packers fan so I can reject you immediately. I'm not giving up, Chris. I'm not giving up. I'm going to have this on every call for the rest of history. Victor the Viking. But all kidding aside, if you're interested in the Done For You, fill that out. Just fill out the little type form. It just takes a little bit. And I'll give you an honest answer, honest feedback if I think it makes sense or not. Let's see here. Yeah, and they're already starting to come in, which is awesome. If you want to know, is anyone interested in the online course? I can also share that. I just don't want to overwhelm people in the moment. So I can share that too if you're interested. In fact, I'll pull up a link to that too. Because everything we've talked about today, there's really two roads. One is, my team and I, we can do all of it for you, like I've been showing you, or you can do it all yourself, kind of using the training and teaching and templates that I've been sharing. So it really just depends on you personally. If you're like, oh, I love doing it all myself, I want to roll up my sleeves, great. The online course is going to make sense. If you're more in the situation of, I don't want, like Catherine Bishop said the best, she's like, I'm an accountant, I'm a CPA. I don't want to try to do any more training to learn how to become something I don't want to be, and I'm not. Just get me the leads, I'll close them. Then that's the Done For You, right? If you're like, just get me leads, get me qualified leads that I can talk to, that I can sell and close to, then you're going to want the Done For You. It's going to make great sense. So I'll also put in, if you want to do it yourself, I have the full LinkedIn Riches online course here. I'll put that in as well. And that's linkedinriches.com/special. So I'll throw that in. I'll open up a tab with that as well. And that course it's obviously everything we've been talking about today. You'll be able to read it all. I think of what other questions people have. If you have other questions before we finish up live, feel free to put them in the webinar chat. You should also see, let's see. Yeah, I see a lot of people on the live chat, so I can kind of follow up. You can also talk to me one-on-one in the live chat. So let me show you what that looks like. So if you're still on the webinar screen, when you get to the Done For You pages, depending on which page you're on, like some of them will have, where it says chat with John Nemo in the bottom right. If you see that pop up, you can click on that, and then you can actually talk to me live one-on-one, because then on the back side, I can see here, here's someone in Germantown, Maryland. Here's the pages they're looking at, and then I can talk with them live. So this is all stuff we show our clients too. I got someone in Appleton, Wisconsin, probably one of my Packer fans. This is probably Chris, Chris or Heike, looking at a couple different pages, right? You're on the do-it-yourself course page, and you're also on the Done For You programs. So again, just depending on what you're interested in. If it's Done For You, fill out the type form. If it's the online course, you can sign up for that today, get started right away, and then you can always upgrade to the Done For You. Like I've had a lot of people do that, where they start with the online course, they get in, they get excited, and they're like, yeah, I get it. I just don't want to put in all the time myself. I'd rather have the experts do it for me, and then we can go there too. So let's do this. I know we're hitting the top of the hour. I want to make sure I give each and every one of you time to fill out the type form. And also I have the live chat available. So let's do this. I will go ahead and make sure everybody can roll over to the Done For You options. And I'll put that in one more time just to make it super simple. And I hope you're excited. I hope regardless, you see the strategy and the path that works to get clients on LinkedIn. So whether you take all this knowledge and strategy and do it yourself, whether you have us do it all for you, whether you do a hybrid and take our course and implement, like all of it's there for you. And the great news is our clients get 5- and 6-figure clients from LinkedIn. Like that is possible. I want to make that clear. If you don't know that, or if that hasn't happened, like you can and will get 5- and 6-figure clients from LinkedIn. Business coaches, consultants, small business owners, CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers. I'm just trying to think of all the different, we work with all kinds. Like I'll tell you too, like when you fill out the type form, like, oh yeah, that industry is a lot harder, right? So just depending on what you do and who you serve, you can have so much success on here. And it's really following the formula I put out. So let me do this. I'm going to paste in one more time. Want Done For You. Fill out this form, and I'll link to the type form. And again, there's no obligation to fill it out. It's just I will be able to personally read it and say, yeah, you know what? It makes sense to talk more, or no, it doesn't. Or, hey, watch this video first, see if this resonates. And anyway, we have 3 different levels of done for you. So depending on, how much work you want to do yourself, that's the other thing I should mention with the done for you is like, we've got 3 different tiers. So you can do some of the work. We can do some of the work. If you feel like, hey, I've already got this part dialed in, I just want you to do this and this, we can do that. That's why we have 3 different levels. So anyway, with all that said, oh my gosh, this was so much fun. Did you guys have fun today? Type yes in the comments if you had fun. Let me know. Let me also show you what we have coming up, because I want you to come back next Friday. We're going to be doing this every single Friday. So let me get here. Back to free tips, Noon with Nemo. And then you can see today we covered the non-sleazy, practical, and proven approach to landing clients on LinkedIn. Next week, a week from today, Friday, we'll talk about email marketing made easy. I'm going to share some of my favorite email marketing secrets, super simple techniques and templates and scripts, so don't miss that. The week after that, we'll talk about high-ticket sales. We'll talk about even more about engaging prospects on LinkedIn. One of my all-time favorites, walking Rosie the dog making sales. It's a good one. Monetizing knowledge, on and on. So thank you, everybody. What I want to do, and thank you, Joe. Thank you, Royce, everybody that's having fun. Hop over to the other page. Either fill out the type form, let me know about your thoughts on the done for you, or sign up for LinkedIn Riches, the course. You get a 30-day risk-free guarantee with that, and you can always upgrade once you're in there to done for you if you want. So, all right, good. I'm glad, Chris, you found value. Good. All right, so do this. Fill out the done for you form for me, Chris, and everybody else. I will look for those. I'll get back to each and every one of you. I know some are already coming in. Cannot wait to talk to you. And it's fun for me to get the done for you submissions, because I learn a lot more about you, your business, what you have going on, and it helps me with ideas for content and ways to improve next time. So thank you, everybody. Be well. I'll go ahead and end the live broadcast for now. Hop over to the Nemo Media Group site, either do the done for you or you can sign up for the course, and we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody. Be well.